Hello again, thanks for joining. So Model Rail Scotland is finished for another year. It was a fantastic show this year, some really wonderful layouts, and I had a great day out at the show. But what did I buy there? Some of you might remember last year I did a haul video where I showed you everything that I got, and it was quite a lot of stuff. And this year I have not quite so many things, but some really interesting cool things to show you. And I got all this from Ellis Clark Trains again. I really like their kind of rummage boxes where you're never quite sure what you might end up with. So in this video I'm going to show you what I got at the show. Last year I managed to bag quite a lot of European locomotives, which was really cool. This year there wasn't quite so many locomotives, but a lot of coaches and rolling stock. However, I did get one locomotive, and it's this one. And yep, you've spotted already, it's actually an American one. And it has a little card showing it has been tested, and it says it's average and stutters, so it probably needs a bit of a clean. It has no couplings, that shouldn't be a problem, I should be able to fix that. And it has working lights, and it says it's near mint. I'm not quite sure if it's near mint, and you can see I paid £18 for this. So let's get it open and we'll check it out. So I think this might actually be an Athearn Blue Box model, but it does look in really good condition. I can't see any damage on it at all. And one of the reasons I bought this particular one rather than some of the other American locomotives that were for sale is because it has all the handrails attached, which is good. Most of the other ones didn't have any handrails at all. I can see that some of these are a little bit rusty, so they probably need a bit of a paint up. And I'll do a fuller video about this locomotive in due course and show you what it's like, whether it runs, and we'll give it a clean up and sort out all the problems on it. So next was this absolutely huge auto rack. I think it's an Athearn model again, and it was £9. So let's get this one open and check it out. So this does actually look to be quite a good model. It's fairly light for the size of it, but it is pretty good. I mean, even here on the bogies, you can see the little silver there, and there's a lot of really nice transfers on the side of this wagon. Absolutely huge model. Looks pretty good though, very good condition. It's got some writing underneath there, but all the couplings are intact, and the bogies look really clean. So I think I did pretty well on that. But don't worry, it's not all American. I've got some European stuff to show you as well, and that's coming up next. So the first one is this tiny little wagon. It was only £2 as well. I'm not actually even sure what manufacturer this is, so let's get this open and we'll check it out. So it's a little margarine van, and I'm quite surprised. This is a lovely little model. It does have a bit of rust here on the coupling. Underneath it says made in Austria. It does look really cool. The weight inside it is rattling around, you could probably hear that there. But aside from that, it looks in absolutely perfect condition. So I'm really chuffed with that, and it was only £2 as well. I've just removed the sticker underneath, and it actually says Lilliput, so it's not Rocco after all, it's a Lilliput model, but still really cool. I'm very happy with this one. So next it's a coach, and it was only £3 as well. This is very light. I'm not quite sure who the manufacturer is, but let's get it open. So it's a really wonderful third class coach. I think it's Polish. It has a CI on the middle there with the number, but it doesn't have any markings underneath about who manufactured this, and it looks as though it's been glued together a little bit. It does have cantilever NEM pocket couplings, and the roof comes off very easily, and it reveals an interior. It's very bright actually in there. And also here we've got a bit of paint that isn't quite right on the roof there. And it looks like we might be missing the handrail from here up to the roof. It looks like it's broken off. It wasn't in the packaging either, so it must have happened before it was put up for sale. But I think this is a really cool model. It's even got really great spoke wheels on it as well, and a lot of detail too. So maybe this is kit built, I'm not quite sure. If you know the manufacturer of this model, let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to find out, but what a wonderful model. It definitely needs some weights to it, but apart from that, I think that is a good purchase. So the next is this wagon. It doesn't have a price tag on it, but it actually costs £4. I think this is BMO actually, HOE scale, but let's get it open, we'll have a look. So yes, it does say BMO underneath, but what a fantastic model this is. This has got a cantilever one here. It's actually a bit jammed there, I can free it up though. And the other side, it looks as though it's screwed on for some reason, but it is still cantilevered as well. So maybe this one's been changed at some point, but it's an absolutely fantastic van. It's got a little bit of dirt here, it just probably needs a bit of a clean up. And the little tiny handrails on the corner are both broken on both sides, but they're still present, so I could maybe glue those back together. But aside from that, that is an absolutely fantastic little model. I'm really happy with this one. This is probably my favourite so far. So next is a baggage car. This is actually from Marklin, and again it was £4, so let's get this one open. So yes, this is Marklin. It says made in Western Germany, so it's quite an old model, this one. You can see the wheels are very dirty though. and it's probably 3-rail as well. But what a great baggage car this is. It's got opening doors as well, and it's got an interior brown there representing wood, and all the doors open as well, which is really cool. It's even got all the little pieces at the end of the carriage, little handrails and the kick down plate and the steps here. All the buffers are intact, and it's got this step up as well, which is also intact on both sides as well. So this is a really cool retro model. I've never seen one of these before. It's got a really strange looking roof part as well, part of the model. Really quite cool. Quite happy with this one. A nice vintage model. So this wagon was £6. I took a bit of a gamble on this one because I'm not actually sure whether that's factory weathered or whether the previous owner, and also I'm not quite sure who made this. So let's get it open, we'll check it out. Okay, so just underneath here, it actually says Electrotren made in Spain, and I kind of thought it might have been that. Quite like Electrotren stuff, it's normally quite good quality. This is a sliding wall wagon, and actually these sliding walls actually do slide, and you can see inside the wagon as well. So that's pretty cool. The doors actually slide. It's got some great transfers on it as well. I don't think this is factory weathered. You can see at the end here it's maybe been put on with a brush. It's not quite that good, but still the rest of it looks really good. It's, I think, being spray canned. Certainly quite passable as well. I think that's quite a good purchase. The next one here is a DB coach. It looks quite cool. I've never seen one like this before. £7 for this, so let's get this open. So it's quite an interesting coach. It doesn't have any maker's mark underneath, but it kind of looks like it might be Marklin with these couplings, but I might be wrong with that. But you did notice when I was trying to get it out that it actually comes apart very easily. I think the screws have broken on this or something, or else these studs, they just come through to the chassis and it looks as though they've just come loose or something over time. So this probably needs glued back together. It's quite a basic coach, this one, but it is a bit unusual. I've never seen one of these before. And I'm still at a loss to know who made this, so if you know who made this coach, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. I've got mixed feelings about this. I'm not sure it's a great purchase or not. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. So this is next. I got this van. It's only £2, but it is missing a wheel. It's pretty obvious why it was so cheap. Let's get this open. So this is an old Pico model. It says it underneath this wheel here. You can see the logo. It's quite a nice van. It obviously is missing the wheel. I'm going to have to try and find one of those in the spares box. And it does have sliding doors as well on both sides which operate. There's some nice printing on the side of this van as well. It's not one of their most detailed models. It does have a little bit of a break in it on both sides, unfortunately, but that could be glued back together. So I need to find a wheel for this, but other than that, I think that's a decent enough van. For £2, I think you can't go wrong. So there was a number of packs of wagons being sold in multiples. This is a 2-pack, obviously, and it was £5 for these 2 tankers. I actually bought this for the lower of the 2 tankers. Not so bothered about the one at the top. Got a little bit of plastic floating around as well, so let's get these open and we'll check them out. So the smaller of the two is a Deutsche Reichsbahn wagon, and I think it might be Marklin. It has a broken buffer at this end, and here the steps are just hanging. I'm going to have to glue those back on, and this is a brake shoe which has come off at this point here. So it's had a bit of a bash around. It definitely needs a clean up, but it's a nice little looking tanker wagon, this one. The larger tanker is much older. I think this is Marklin. It's got the spring on the bottom with the couplings attached to it. It's got the pressed steel bottom piece in the chassis. It does look quite good. The transfers actually are getting a little bit old. You can see the surround around the logos there. But a Spanish alcohol wagon. Pretty cool. It's got some dirt here as well. It looks as though it might have had a price sticker on it at some point. So it definitely needs a bit of a clean up, but it doesn't look as though it's damaged in any way. It's a lovely looking vintage model, this. Mostly made of metal as well, so that's pretty cool. So more old wagons here. This is £8 for a 3-pack. So let's get these open. So this here is a Lilliput wagon. It's obviously a Deutsche Bundesbahn gas tanker wagon, I think. And it's got the Bavarian Leverkusen, I think that is, logo there. Underneath it's not faring too well. The wheels are very rusty. It does have the couplings on a spring as well. The chassis does look quite good though. It's got a lot of detail on it. And it's got the brakeman's cab as well. So this is more of an interest wagon than a detailed wagon because, you know, the moulding isn't that good and it is showing its age a little bit. It's not in the best condition, but it is quite interesting to run that around your layout. Next is 2 flat wagons. And I'm guessing all 3 are Lilliput. This is another Lilliput one. The brakeman's cab is a bit bashed on this one and a bit dirty on the roof as well. But this is actually a real wood load, which really looks quite cool. And it looks as though it's on the same chassis. It's got the same problems as well with rusty wheels, but they seem to work okay. And the final one is just a flat car, the same as what we've just seen, but without the load. Really bad moulding marks on these models, and it looks a little bit bent as well. So it's maybe showing its age, or maybe it did have a load at some point and it's broken off. It looks as though it maybe did have something there, but the deck has got really nice wood moulding and rivet detail on it. So it's not a bad model, and I think these three together make a nice little train. A couple of coaches as well. This one was only £4 and it looks quite interesting. Let's get this open. So this is a sleeping car. It's actually an old Markland model. It's got a metal pressed steel chassis on here, and it looks as though it's all metal as well, maybe tin plate, and it's got a metal roof as well. It's not the most detailed model in the world, but it really looks quite interesting, and it's got that vintage charm to it that I really like. Absolutely massive flanges on the wheels, and I think this is a 3-rail setup as well. These won't work on a 2-rail setup. What a fantastic old coach, and I can't believe it was only £4. Maybe not for everyone, but I really like stuff like this, so I'm happy to add this to my collection. This next one, I'm pretty sure this is Fleischmann, and it was £10 as well. Let's get this open. Well, I was wrong. This is actually a Rawa coach. I didn't know that. I thought it was a Fleischmann, and it's obviously of this kind of stainless steel commuter coach design. This one is a bit dirty. It's got a previous price tag still stuck on the roof, so that needs taken off, and it's got a few scratches as well. Unfortunately, one of the steps has broken off in the packaging, and it looks as though we've lost another one at some point in the past as well. But it does have a lot going for it in this coach. It's got the windows half open here, and you can see the compartments inside. And one of the things I like here is the articulation on the couplings. It actually moves the buffers as well. So that's something a bit unusual. I've not seen that before in a model. And also, I didn't know Rawa did coaches, but there you go. Here's one right here. Quite a nice little coach. Obviously needs a clean up, but pretty good. And the next one is this little Pennsylvania Railroad American ore car. It's £2.50, so let's get this open. So a pretty decent model here. I actually thought this was a Thurn when I bought it, but I can see underneath it says Bachmann made in China. Really nice wheels on it, good bogies, no damage either, which is really good. No detail on the inside, so it's just crying out for a load. But a nice little wagon, that one. And only £2.50, you can't really go wrong. So that's everything I bought at the show. Quite an interesting collection, I think. Very varied as well, and stuff from different parts of the world as well. I only got this one locomotive, but I think it's quite a good one. And I'm looking forward to fixing this up and getting it running and looking good. So there'll be a video about this one coming soon. I know I don't normally do American stuff on this channel, but I couldn't resist this one. I think for me, this BMO wagon is the absolute best thing I got here. It was only £4. It does have a bit of damage, but I think I can fix it up. It's very light, needs some weights as well. But what a cool little model, I'm really happy with this one. And there's a couple of mysteries as well, like this coach. No idea who made this. I think it might actually be kit built, but I'm just not sure. It certainly looks pretty cool though. And this other mystery coach, which I still don't know who made this. And also it needs a bit of a repair. And some of this other stuff needs a bit of a clean up and a repair as well, so I better get on with it. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel to get more videos about model railways and real railways. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.